I fall off my skateboard all the time and it doesn't affect me at all. Plus, I fall off my skateboard all the time and it doesn't affect me at all.
Hello everyone, I'm back. It's the night before the finale of Season 1 releases, and I wanted to share my initial thoughts of the episode called I Wanna Dance With My Buddy, which I finally understood the title recently being a reference to the song I Wanna Dance With Somebody. You know, the one that everyone's heard. Yeah, that one. Which I find really cute because it's an 80 themes dance that was actually set up 3 episodes ago in Oceanside's 11.
I know the perfect time and place to tell Scott how I feel. Nothing says romance like the big, totally 80s to the max school dance.
It'd be really cute if they did a whole previously on Haley's on It. Obviously, if they couldn't copy Avatar: The Last Airbender, there's no such thing called copyright. If they did their own little version like every show has, that would low-key get me more hyped than I already have. It's been a while since Haley's on It brought up a more story-driven element back to the series, and although I did wish it dealt with more of the sci-fi storyline, I don't mind the final episode being about Scaly. Especially with the title as cute as I Wanna Dance With My Buddy. Although I'm very excited for the episode, and I mean I'm dressing up as Haley for the episode premiere, kind of excited, I do have a few concerns.
Haley's plan to tell Scott her feelings at the school dance is thrown into disarray when a compatibility app says they might not be meant for each other.
I already knew there'd be conflict around Haley confessing her feelings to Scott. If there's no conflict, the episode would look like this.
Hey, Scott! Do you want to go out?
Sure!
But I wanted the conflicts on Haley's end to be her own anxieties that have been building up for the past season, instead of Haley crying because she got a low score on Love Tester 3. To prove that's a boring plot, I'll enter Haley and Scott's name into Love Tester 3 to prove it.
Really?
Oh my gosh, this is real. Well, I guess I'll accept defeat on that. I guess Haley and Scott are uncompatible. I find it surprising that we haven't gotten a single preview of I Wanna Dance With My Buddy other than this clip of Scott freaking out. But this could have just been a scene from a previous episode I don't remember. Regardless if that clip is new or not, it's a surprising lack of content. I expected to see more clips of Haley at the dance. Maybe she's nervous. Maybe she's dancing her heart out and Scott's not in the frame. Maybe she's wearing a new dress. Maybe her hair is out and not in that weird look she had with her leather jacket. Or just any clip I can indicate is from this episode. I guess with nothing to look at other than this description, I'll have to go in blind tomorrow morning. And that's just what I'll do. Wait. Before I fast forward to tomorrow morning, I couldn't find a proper way to include this in the video. I'm so sure the dance is gonna be invading chaos bots and Haley's gonna defeat them. You chose the wrongdoing mess of me bots. Pow. The professor's gonna come in late, tell Haley some new bit of knowledge which will blow Haley's mind. And this episode will be a huge indicator if the show's ending or not. I think that if the team is aware they probably won't get a second season, they'll probably just rush and have Haley kiss Scott. And if they do think they're gonna get another season, the kiss is gonna be saved till then. So go ahead, editor me, just go ahead and fast forward now.
There's one list item Haley's never told you about.
That can't be it. Where's the rest of it?
So a common theme of 2024 is that there's an episode of a show that'll become my personality for the next month. In March, it was Masks from Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender. In April, it was Bluey the Sign. And now it's I Wanna Dance With My Buddy. This episode hasn't even been out for a week while I'm recording this, and it's been all that's on my mind. I have way too much to say, and I feel like a lot of these topics I'll be bringing up deserve their own videos. I'll keep everything somewhat brief, cause I still have a lot to say, so... AC makes the chaos bots. It was basically confirmed. Look at the smile on my boy's face. Honestly, I was hoping to be Scott and he'd have some trauma related to his father being out of the picture, but it was revealed last week's episode that his parents are still close and I still had hope. It could have been a whole thing where Haley had to prevent that distorted future from happening. Something like the whole Dark Danny thing for Danny Phantom. But you know, AC makes the chaos bots. My mind is blown. I find it shocking that Haley didn't even notice the time glitches when the chaos bot showed up. I mean, you could argue she noticed, but she would ignore them. But wouldn't she look at least the tiniest bit unsettled? I mean, look at it. It begs the question, who can see time glitches and who can't? But I'll save that conversation potentially for another video. The professor didn't show up contrary to my predictions, but it's probably going to happen in the first episode of season 2, when or if that happens.
There's one list item Haley's never told you about.
The way that Scott knows now? But they didn't show exactly what Scott saw, so we might be being catfished. What if he doesn't know? What if he does know? Ugh. I'm honestly all over the place and speechless. I have nothing and everything to talk about. My brain can no longer think straight. I'm still so confused about Sanjay. Wasn't he someone Haley made up? Especially with such a common name like Sanjay Singh. We even saw her search hunky male model until she got an Indian one. How is he real? I'm honestly thinking it's like this one episode of Ant Farm when China's brother gets a girlfriend and she turns out to be a part of his imagination in the end.
See, I told you she was beautiful.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about Jean, my date.
What date? There's no one there.
Wow. Talk about denial.
Cameron, your photos are ready.
But then how come Scott saw him? I don't know, he's Scott. He can see stuff. I mean, he does know how to randomly speak Flamingo, and he has been chilling with a group of criminals since childhood. So maybe he can share hallucinations. I was walking around and I overheard someone talk about butter, and I was like,
emotional damage!
Like now Scott's in Haley's shoes, but Haley never had the guts to ask Scott out, while Scott, as soon as he realized his feelings, went to ask her out. As you can tell, I'm low-key mad at Haley for bringing Sanjay out of a TV like he's Fat Albert or something. And now that's her first boyfriend. Seeing Scott all sad holding the flowers take me back to the scene of The Legend of Korra of Bolin with Korra all over again. And I don't know if I can handle the emotional damage all over again. Turns out, I did. Because Haley got with a man I swear isn't real. I wish the final episode of maybe the whole show didn't leave Haley in such a bad light, but it is understandable to make Haley a flawed protagonist. Overall, this episode has left me so many questions, so many emotions, and so many topics to cover in future videos. I'll leave it here, but please consider subscribing to my channel and spreading the word on how good Haley's on It is so Disney can consider greenlighting it for at least one more season. That'll be all for today, and see you next time.